Yo.
Yo,
What's up, guys?
Yo, what's good, everybody? We back, week 15. We got the semifinals of the Radical Souls Fantasy Football League. We got four familiar faces from last week, and we got one new face, Eddie. Couldn't make it last week, but he hit this week, and I guess he was like, I'm not going to show my face until I go into the next round to be on the safe side.
nice.
Yes, I guess.
So, where you guys want to start, yo? We want to start with our matchups right now. Does Chris and Ethan have any takes on anything?
Yeah. So let's give an update of where everybody sits right now currently.
Please
I'll go
do,
first.
Chris. Please do, Chris.
I'll go first. Kenny beat me last week. So last week my guys decided to take a quick nap. You know what I'm saying? They were like, we're all going to the playoffs. I don't think we need to score. So Aaron Jones shit the bed. My defense shit the bed. My wide receiver shit the bed. Corey Davis had like 2 points. So long story short, your boy ain't in the playoffs no more. Thank you, Kenny. Appreciate you.
Hey, I was on a 7-game or 6-game losing streak, and I had just lost to you the week before. So this was my revenge win.
Bro, that shit pissed me off. I'm like, yo, like I literally just beat you the week before to like solidify first place. And now I'm playing the same person and I can't beat you. And you beat me by like 30 points. Like you beat me by a solid amount. So
yeah.
But that's fantasy football for you. So
honestly, I didn't expect my boys to pull out what they pulled out. I played Godwin and I saw Godwin play. I'm just like, oh man, I feel like I'm just gonna lose this. I'm just gonna slip out of my hands and I'm gonna lose this.
Yeah, and my tight end, my wide receiver too. Even Kyler Murray has just been shit in the bed too. So.
And I was gonna text you. I was like, "Yo, what's up with Kyler Murray?" And they were playing against the Giants.
That's what I'm saying. Like I thought he would have put up at least 20, but no, it was like a little less than 20.
I don't know. Giants were reading him very well. They were getting to him very, very well. So I don't know. They probably already. Giants are doing fairly well defensively.
Yeah,
I'm pulling for them to go to the playoffs in general. So.
The secondary with Bradbury and Jabril Peppers.
Yeah.
And Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan's been pretty good too.
Yeah. So, and then that linebacker that they got, the kid that was like, he went to I forgot his name. They have a really good linebacker though. He's a rookie. Yeah.
Yeah. He was one of the top tacklers last year.
Yeah. So
for the past 2 seasons actually.
Me personally, I just think the Giants give Daniel Jones another try. If not, bro, like put Colt McCoy in because like McCoy was actually doing justice for you guys against Seahawks, even though the defense was just outright just spanking on Russell Wilson. But like give Colt McCoy a little bit of a chance. He's more of an experienced quarterback.
I saw no reason to rush him back next week. Not to stray away from fantasy talk, but there was no reason for them to really rush Daniel Jones back to that game.
Coincidentally, he's out this week.
And I was gonna say, and he's hurt again this week, so obviously.
So Eddie, when Wayne Gallman should be seeing some uptick in points, maybe if they're trying to stay away from Colt McCoy's arm.
Hopefully.
So Eddie, what you doing about Zeke? You started him?
No.
Nah.
Yeah.
Damn. That's been a big disappointment this year. Zeke has been
probably one of the biggest disappointments because he was top 5 pick this year. So
I mean, I think for him to be a disappointment, a lot of that has to do with the fact with Dak going down.
Oh no, yeah, like that team is just like crumbling ever since Dak went out.
Oh yeah.
They it looks like they haven't even been really trying, like even on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Like when was the last time that you ever seen like a Dallas running back combo that can't even score over 100 rushing yards in a game?
Yeah, not even Alfred Morris last year when he was with them, or what was it, like 2 years ago. He was like a top 10 running back just because he was that offensive line that they had.
Yeah.
So. But to stray away from that, can we continue on to our updates? So, Kenny, since we're talking about you, Kenny, update us on where you're at in the playoffs. Who are you facing this week? How you looking? How you feeling?
I'm this week I feel nervous. Like I think last week was the week that was just like, all right, there's a possibility I can beat Chris, and kudos, my dream came true that I beat you. But this week I'm a little bit nervous just because the matchups of most of my players, the teams they're going against, they either have a great defense or their offense is just trash, and some of them are questionable. And then I'm going against Daniel. And Daniel, the one player I'm afraid of with Daniel is Stephon Diggs, because Stephon Diggs showed up against the Steelers last week, and that's one dude that he was a sleeper pick for me this whole season. And this is like this week it's projected for me to win, but I'm still nervous. So let's see. I just need them to give me a healthy Eckler and a healthy MT, and then I should be good, bro.
And maybe your defense could put up 20 points again. So
I
They're playing
mean,
the Jets.
they're playing the Jets, bro. So if they can give me at least 30 points, I'll be fine with that. They give me 21 against they give me 21 against the Patriots. I'll be fine with that.
I saw that game. That pissed me off. Sorry to go back a week, but that just pissed me off. Not gonna lie to you, because fucking the Patriots come back and win 45-0, and they can't even get a touchdown on the Rams defense.
Well, I mean, Rams defense is they're elite, bro.
Yeah, they are.
If they make it far, if they make it far in the playoffs, it's because of their defense.
I mean, Aaron Donald,
Yeah,
best probably defensive player in the game.
And the thing is, like, if you run the ball you have Aaron Donald running the ball, but if you throw the ball, you have Jalen Ramsey covering your top wide receiver, and he's the number one corner in the game. So there's no he shut down DK for one full game. DK had like 4 targets and he had 1 catch the whole entire game.
Yeah,
just because he had Jalen. So I don't know. This week I'm a little nervous.
I know Eddie in the corner, like, I hope the Rams defense shits the bed. I got Cooper Kupp. I'm gonna need him to go off. Eddie, how you feeling coming into the matchup, yo? What'd you do last week? How you feel about your team? What's the scoop?
I mean, it was pretty nerve-wracking because it was pretty tight all week, like as far as the points going back and forth.
Yeah, I saw it went all the way up until Monday, right? With his defense, he had the Ravens defense, right?
Yeah, he had the Ravens defense. Yeah.
So what's the plan?
Well, his kicker only scored one extra point, so he was projected to score like 7, almost 8 points. So that kind of helped. And then the defense you saw that game, so you know what happened. They got lucky to score positive points on defense.
Word up, bro.
When I looked, they were like -2. like before that safety to end the game.
Yeah,
they were at -2.
That safety. That got me upset when I saw that. I was like, wow, it's safety.
Who'd you face last week, Eddie?
It was what's his face?
Coast had Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Mostert.
Well, I mean, thankfully Miami, kind of did pretty good on defense on Mahomes. The last time I faced him, he scored like 70 points with both of them combined, almost 80, just off of them two.
That was a really close game. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah,
defense scored nothing. Kicker scored a point.
And the Steelers' defense shit the bed on me too. I should have put Kansas City. They put up at least 12, 14.
Justin Jeffries low-key shit the bed for him too.
Yeah.
Raheem Mostert shit the bed too. Yeah, with 9 points.
Well, both of his running backs, Joseph McKinnon too.
Yeah, put up the same points at the running back position.
Or at the running back position, yeah.
Those were the two that I was worried about because I was like, what if one of these dudes just break for a touchdown real quick and then it'll be like within like 10 points, and I'm like, damn.
Damn, yo.
But I mean, I got lucky. I had two. Well, besides the Kansas City defense, I also had what? I had another player that scored like
Scantling, 20 points on the bench, and you had 11.
But he's been like up and down. Like he hasn't scored any points, and then he'll score like 20, 28 points out of nowhere.
What's the plan coming into this week? Yo, you're going up against Luke. We got an all champs rivalry going on right there.
Yeah.
What's good, yo? What's going through your head right now? Since you got Derrick Henry and you also got AJ Brown, Tannehill.
Yeah, he got pretty much the whole Titans offense on his team.
Is he a Titans fan?
Nah, he's a
Nah,
Giants
he's a Giants fan.
diehard Giants fan.
Damn.
He just drafted
But
like
yeah, Derrick Henry's been eating, so it's kind of hard. So we'll have to see.
hopefully.
I mean, it's gonna be another tight game. Probably me and him, probably the closest game again.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. So we'll see what happens.
because I know Luke's team. If Derrick Henry ain't going off, it's a low scoring matchup with him most of the weeks.
Yeah, I mean, he had a pretty high scoring matchup last week. This past in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it was really Derrick Henry though with the 30 something points, so that definitely
Yeah.
contributed to all that.
Well, AJ Brown too.
Yeah, and then you have Kenny facing me, who put up the most points last week with 164 points.
How much? What?
I put 164.
Sorry, no,
Yeah.
I didn't even realize I scored that much points. Or did you score that much
No, I
points?
scored 164.
Oh! I thought I did. I was like, I didn't score that much.
Nah, you scored
This guy came
144,
from 10th
Oh.
place.
164. Yeah.
Yo, but Daniel, who did I face? Who did I face again?
Oh, you played Chris, bro. So, Chris, who's your favorite team? Now? From the outside looking in, Chris, who's your favorite team from the consolation bracket, looking at the winners bracket?
Let's look. I'm on the fantasy website right now. Hold on. Let's see.
And while
I gotta
you
look.
look, let's ask Ethan real quick. Ethan,
Yeah, go ahead. Ask Ethan.
I know you've been looking a
Maybe.
lot.
You have the shades on. You feeling very confident going into this playoff matchup this week. It's a tough one. I'm gonna say Dan because of Kenny's injuries. Because Eckler doesn't play, that's a problem. And I've seen another injury. I think other Kenny Alday. I
Yeah.
think someone else is hurt. Yeah, if those two don't play, then that's a game changer.
Well, I mean, I've been having Kenny Galladay on the bench, so my wide receiving core was MT, DK, and they'll usually be my core, and then my flex I switched it up this week with Landry, because Landry's been cooking with Baker, and
Baker,
Baker's been looking beautiful lately.
Nice.
Even
That's the
with
only thing
that
that's scary.
with that loss, he's been looking legit.
That's the main thing that's scaring me right now, that flex position. So I'm like, yo, if Julio don't play, I do not know what I'm going to do at that flex, and I'm going to have to figure that out ASAP.
I think for me, the big one is just Eckler to see if he plays or not. Because if he doesn't play, then the only two options I have is just going to be Connor, who had a trash game, and then Melvin Gordon, who he had a decent game last week, but he's not going to give me Eckler numbers like 20 plus.
He's also
So,
questionable right now, too, which doesn't help the situation. So,
Yeah,
Exactly.
Ooh, a lot of questionables.
yeah.
yo, so Chris, you got an answer yet? You need more time?
I'm still gonna stick with my original. I think Kenny's gonna win.
Then who
It's
you got?
whoever wins out of you two is gonna win. That's my faith. That's what I think. You guys
So you
just based
think-
on projections and things like that. But low key, I wouldn't sleep on either one of Eddie or Luke's team because I mean, the only thing that really scares me about Eddie's team is the running backs but I mean wide receiver Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper,
Keenan Allen.
yeah, bro. I regret that Keenan Allen trade over and over again. But
that's how you got Kyler Murray, isn't it?
it is. But
look,
Kyler Murray,
look what I got.
he been shit in the bed lately. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, even Luke's team too, man, with Derrick Henry and Tyler Boyd, AJ Brown, Nick Chubb, yeah. I mean, they're in the playoffs for a reason. So there we go. I'm still sticking with Kenny though. Even though you beat me, Kenny, I got your back, all right?
Thank you very much.
All I know is Champs is out here repping, all right? We got 3 people in the Final Four,
Yeah.
and the job is still not done. That's why I have to break out the shades, Ethan. Like, Jamal Murray, when he was down 3-1, he broke out the shades. When LeBron was down 3-1, they broke out the shades, Right now, I'm down to Kenny, so I'm trying to get right.
I don't know why you're saying that like you're not Jamal Murray, but we'll continue on. That's a different topic.
Bro, ain't you supposed to be at practice or something, bro? What are you doing?
Yo, but hopefully, hopefully we'll see Champs walk away with this trophy, We can rep this hard going into basketball season, too.
Let me ask you, what is the breakdown for the prizes? What's because I don't know the details of that.
So we went big bowler brand here. We the third place is gonna get their money back. Second place is gonna get 40, and first place is gonna get 140.
140.
Ooh.
Got it.
Yeah.
Big bowler brand out here. We didn't want to make first place seem like it wasn't competitive, and we want to make sure the league was competitive, which ended up working out.
Yep.
Because these
Facts.
stages were close all the way until the very end.
Literally.
Have you guys
Literally,
decided to do next year? Start off straight clean with keepers league.
I was gonna ask. I don't know if it was up in the air. I was gonna see if we had like a whole little poll system going on. I was actually gonna put it in the discussion today. If you guys wanted to do the legacy league, I could still switch it over.
We should.
But
Me personally, I would start fresh for next year.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just because this is this league, but I would start fresh for next year. Just
Yeah, because
start fresh.
I keep this team. I don't know how that's gonna be looking for y'all next year.
but that's the fun part too, because you never know. Like you never really know when what's gonna be next year, unless they're big names. But
Bro, and you don't want to give John freaking McCaffrey and Dalvin
Oh,
Cook.
nah,
yeah.
Restart this up.
John, I know you're watching this. We don't want you to have those two.
No.
Run that back.
I think.
Flash.
Is there anybody else at least on this call? Because this would make a majority is 5. Because I know Jason said no. So
Yeah, we starting over.
I'm all for starting over, bro.
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
3, 4, 5,
Honestly-
6. All right.
This is
Honestly,
the
this is
refresh
my
button.
Starting over.
This is like my first year like doing fantasy, and I feel like I'll get better next year, at least with the homework and stuff. So I think
Yeah.
I'll get better picks.
That's
So
true.
we'll see. I'd rather just start off fresh, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of young players I would want instead of the players I have.
Exactly, that too. There's gonna be a lot of developing players from this year to next year that are gonna probably be
And
sleeper
Yeah.
picks.
when you're drafting dynasty, you have a different mindset because you're losing the first few draft picks. So I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna really risk it with this person opposed to this person later on. 'Cause
Word.
imagine me getting stuck with Le'Veon Bell now after I did that risky move.
Exactly.
Like,
After we told you not to do it.
look, bro,
Exactly.
We literally told you on the call.
we not talking about the past. Now I got Chris Carson and Kenyon Drake. Shout out Ethan and shout out you, Eddie, because you couldn't keep Kenyon Drake with his injury history up in the air.
Bro, his hamstring is terrible, bro.
Yeah, I know. That's I'd be scared watching every game when I see him on the floor laying there for like more
I
than.
mean, he did pretty good against not against the Giants. He did good in his previous game, though.
Yeah,
The Giants, he cut himself.
I got very lucky. When I saw you drop him, I was like, "Oh, Eddie couldn't keep him because he has to fill in something else." All right, I'm about to pick this up.
Yeah, I don't know. I kept going back and forth between like running back decisions. It was hard,
Nah, what made
especially
it?
since like no more trades and stuff. So just claiming off of waivers.
That was
But
difficult.
I mean, I guess I got a little lucky with the two that I have now.
Nah, yeah, especially
Naheem Hines has
because
been pretty decent.
the worst part was that Kenyon Drake, like, he wasn't even on the IR. He was dead ass just questionable every single week. So like, I had him for like 2 weeks questionable on my
Word.
bench, but I didn't need him. So I was like, all right, I'll just stash him for now.
Well, that's the reason why I dropped him because he was literally on IR, so there was no point on me keeping him.
So,
So
since you're
yeah,
new
man.
to the call, Eddie, do you want to see a change in these waiver claims? Because everybody else has agreed that we're changing the waiver from standing base to random from draft based.
Now, what does that actually mean?
So pretty much like
Yeah.
this year we had it based on like standing. So like if Chris, for example, who was in first place, would get
Like the priority, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you mean like priority rather than who claimed it first?
Nah, it would just be random. So like, you know how there's priority 1 through 10, and I have
Right.
10 because I've been in number 1. So next year it would be just random. Like, so I could have 1 week, I could have 10 the next week, I could have 3.
Oh,
I
they
could
got
have
that
4.
option
It's
too?
just random, just whatever.
Oh, okay. I got
They
you.
have
now. I
that
got you
option,
now.
and then they have like what's the other option?
the
That's
draft
pretty
based
common?
one, right? Where it's like
Yeah, the
the
draft
10
based
whatever.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that too, but
The random one is what I did last year with one of my leagues, where like you have to be on top of like you just got to predict the future of like what's gonna happen next week. You just got to be on top of things to put the claim in quick.
Yeah.
If not, then you just miss out.
I was like that. I was at 10 this year, but I felt like I got everybody I wanted. So, I mean, maybe there was a couple here and there that slipped through the cracks, but like nothing that like, how can you say that I was really disappointed about? So,
I had Robert Tonyan slip
That
through and
helped you,
go to
OG.
Luke.
That came up
yeah,
clutch for you, especially because I know Jared Cook was injured for a while. Then I traded you Jimmy Graham, who was looking real good, and then he just started falling off a cliff out of nowhere.
Well, now I have what's his face? Oh, forget the kid's name.
Man, stuck right now. I got you right now.
Mm.
You
So,
got
did you guys hear the rumors that this might be Drew Brees' completely last year in the NFL? Like he's gonna come back, and then if he wins, he wins. If he doesn't, then that's it. He's done.
I've been hearing
really?
a lot of that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of rumors.
Shit.
Well, maybe they're trying to move on to Taysom Hill and shit, you know,
Could be
or
that.
to try to draft another quarterback.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that probably changes Michael Thomas's draft and Alvin Kamara's draft stock too, because now there's mad questions around that.
That's where I was leading to. Like next year, where if that happens, where do their draft stock just goes?
Michael Thomas questionable. Alvin Kamara still stays top 10, I believe.
Agreed.
I would give MT like the third, second round.
Yeah, especially
I think to me, first pick of next year's draft, it has to be Derrick Henry, bro. Derrick Henry between Derrick Henry and
Cook.
and Cook, they have to be the two. Cook, he got injured. He missed I think he got injured for 1 week, and then he had the bye week. Then he kept going. Derrick Henry has not missed a game for the last 3 seasons. So he's been the most fantasy-wise. He's been the most consistent player. You had Saquon, who went number 1 probably last year. Most people's drafts, he got injured. We had
Christian McCaffrey.
Who was just
season.
he was out the entire season basically. He only played like 2-3 games. So to me, Derrick Henry, if you think about it, realizing whoever has that number 1 pick in next year's draft, Derrick Henry is the number 1 pick. He is the most healthiest running back in. Knock on wood, nothing happens to him for next year, but he's fantasy-wise the best running back in fantasy.
I mean, personally, he should have been the number 1 pick this year.
I totally agree as well. Yeah, I think everybody went on Christian McCaffrey because he's Christian McCaffrey, like
Yeah, word.
Yeah.
you know. But the
But
thing,
now,
but there was a lot of failures there because like, how was he gonna play with Teddy Bridgewater? They played fairly well, but then he just got injured.
Yeah. And like I was gonna just say, this raises the question of can he stay healthy? Because I feel like he's been hurt every single season now. So that's something to take into consideration. And Eddie, what do you tell people next year when they're thinking about drafting Zeke high? You think with Dak Prescott back is definitely worth it, or you think that should be a second round draft pick now?
I don't know. Like, I feel like he's still a top 5 running back, but obviously losing his quarterback for the year, that obviously messed things up. Especially having like 2 different quarterbacks coming off of the bench also and getting injured. So, I mean, it's really hard to say. I mean, I don't want to. At the end of the day, like he's still a rushing title holder, so I don't want to like take that away from him.
Word.
So, I mean, it really depends. But I feel like next year he's probably going to have something to prove. But I'll be honest, I won't be picking his ass, so we can move on.
I think with Zeke, you have to. He missed out with Dak being there, but his O line was horrible this year.
Yeah,
So like you
this
have
is
to
like one
factor
of the
in
worst
who's in his O line. You know, you had Smith, who was out the entire season. Tyron Smith, he was out the entire season. That was his left.
Like
That was his left tackle.
He's their best O lineman too.
Exactly. You had like 2 guys that retired this year. One left, or I don't know what happened, but their O line was all messed up.
Word.
So
Yeah.
that's like that's a toss up between like, is he a first rounder or late first rounder, early second round? It just depends.
Facts.
I don't know. I feel like at this point right now, just going off of this season, he's early second round at best right now.
Yeah, I would agree too.
And then Chris, let me ask you real quick. What you think about Aaron Jones? Do you think he should be a consideration about being a high pick?
After the later of the season, I'd say like yes and no, but he's not top five, bro. Like the end of the season really just fucked me, bro. He's had like consistent games where it's under 10 points. Like, they're working in a lot of Jamal Williams in the mix. So like it really takes away from his value. So I mean, he still has I don't know. If you got a good running back one, I feel like him at running back two would be really, really, that'd be an ideal situation, but no consistency.
Facts.
I agree.
Well, wait. Let me take that back. Let me take it a little bit. Because he's been consistent to where the fact that he isn't injured or anything. He just had like a calf injury for 1 week and then came back versus like any other running back in the NFL. So that's one good portion, I guess you'd say. Or
A
one
lot
good
of that
part.
has to do though too with like them putting the ball more in Rodgers' hands. Like
Yeah,
Big
him
time,
having
yeah.
his MVP season right now, pretty much.
pretty much. Yeah. So, but all right, guys, I
Yeah.
got to head out just a little bit early. So it was great talking to you guys. I will
All
see you guys next week. Hopefully, we can
You
chat it up, talk it up about them.
Yes.
All
got it, Phil.
right.
Yes, sir.
Peace out,
Peace.
bro.
Later, bro.
Let me ask you, Kenny, now the same question. Since you have both of these guys, who you taking higher next year, DK Metcalf or Michael Thomas?
Oh, it's sad. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. DK, bro. DK is the next. He's Megatron 2.0, bro. He is the next coming of probably the third best receiver of all time. Like if Russell Wilson can consistently get him the ball, do what he needs to do, and play how he plays, he's gonna be one of the best wide receivers that ever played the game.
Word.
Probably he just turned 23. He already has a second season up. And he has the most yards this season. You think he's like fifth in most reception. He's like fifth in most touchdowns, but he's first in yards. So like he's constantly just amazing. MT, like I said before, he's a early second round to probably late second round. Like I would push it for probably early third round
Yeah.
because you don't know what factors in if Breeze retires or not.
And then what happens with Winston or Tyson Hill?
Exactly. So like you never know with him. I mean, like last year with my other league, I wanted MT so bad. I was like, all right, this is my chance to get MT. So I drafted MT in both leagues, which was this one and this one. Kind of backfired on me, but he came back, got me some solid points with Taysom Hill, but I mean, didn't get the production that I wanted him to give me. But for sure, DK Metcalf is it's gonna go probably Devontae Adams, D Hop, and DK Metcalf, the top three wide receivers in the league for next year's fantasy.
Wouldn't be surprised. And then probably you make the argument with Tyreek Hill and DK Metcalf, depending on who's drafting at that position.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would put Tyreek Hill there just because of the quarterback he has.
Yeah.
But yet again, like I feel like Patrick Mahomes always throws to Kelsey, and Kelsey is like his boy. So like that's why I push DK more to third because I feel like now that connection with him and Russell is just it's gonna get even better from what this season is.
Well, it's because Patrick Mahomes, he's learned from like Brady and like even like Romo. They've both had great tight ends as safety blankets. That no
Exactly.
matter what happens, they can roll out of the pocket if they need to and just look to the left or right, and boom, there's a tight end. Where
Yeah,
even if there's somebody covering them, they still make a play.
exactly.
That's what Kelsey's turning into too. Not for nothing, he's the best tight end in the game,
Word.
without a doubt.
Yeah, agree.
You might have to draft Kelsey as a wide receiver next year in that type of category. Like he might have to go first round, second round, honestly.
Yeah, he's a
honestly.
beast, bro. He's honestly a beast. Also, like going back to Michael Thomas real quick, you also have to take into account like if Drew Brees does retire and the Saints do try to go for a quarterback in the draft,
They're
They
probably
might
gonna
try to
trade him.
trade. They might try to
Yeah.
trade him as a piece, you know,
Word.
especially with all the stuff that's happening, like outside of football stuff or
Yeah.
whatever's been going on or hasn't been going on, whatever
I,
they want to call it.
I didn't even think of that. You're bringing up a great point. Depends what
I
situation you
mean,
up on too.
you got to think about everything, bro. I mean, he hasn't been doing that great this season. Anybody is tradable, bro. That's the one thing you have to learn from any sport. Anybody's tradable.
Look at D Hop, bro. You never expected him to get traded for freaking
A
David
bag of
Johnson,
chips.
bro.
Yep.
Like look at basketball too. Like anybody's tradable, bro.
Word. That's definitely a great
Anybody.
take.
How about you, Daniel? Like, who do you feel like, to revert the question to you? Like,
I know for a fact that Stephon Diggs is going top 6 in the receivers. Like, no question, especially after this year and Josh Allen only getting better now too, like you said, and that's going to be his number one for years to come. That's something people are going to look at, and he's going off the board quick. So
yeah,
I think he's definitely coming off the board fast. And like I said, Travis Kelce, some people might see him and take him, like I want to say end of first round and beginning of second round. So it really just depends who's left and what the situations are. Like Eddie said, we got to see what happens in the trades this year, and we'll see who's left over at the end of all of this.
I just feel like next year's draft, I think a lot of people should consider. I feel like wide receivers. This is where I fucked up, which is like wide receiver first. Like at the end of the day, like some of these coaches go run offense that me personally, I should have just picked the running back at first pick. But I feel like first running back is 100%. It's the safest thing you could do. You always got to look into his track record. Is he always healthy? Is he always this, always that? That's why there's a question mark with McCaffrey. Like for next year, like is he gonna be fully healthy? It was a knock on wood again. Like hopefully he stays healthy the whole season.
So let's take that and go to Ethan now, because Ethan was one of the people in the league that drafted running back heavy more than wide receiver heavy. Ethan, are you gonna do the same method next year?
Same exact ones, just people with non-injury prone players. Because Mixon got hurt and Chris Carson got hurt. My first 3 picks. So definitely, I always do running backs, no matter what. Running backs first and then wide receivers.
Word. I like it. And you know me, I'm always wide receiver first and running back next, and I might switch that up a little bit because I had to hit that panic button pretty hard at some point.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. That's next year might be a little different. I might go right wide receiver first. It depends.
Word. I wouldn't blame
But
you, especially because you had that traumatic experience with Zeke this season.
Well, not only that, but like also like you got to take into account too that a lot of these wide receivers this year have been putting up just as many points as running backs, if not more.
Exactly.
Like I had I had Tyler Lockett before I traded him to Eden, and he put up 53 points in 1 week. So that just goes to show you, like it's it's insane. So yeah, I mean more or less of the time the running back is going to score more points, but it depends on what running back you choose too. So
Word.
it
Depends
also
on,
depends on where you fall at in the draft and who you can draft and who's available.
and also the wide receiver position. You always got to look at who's your quarterback. Like for
Yeah,
sure.
that too.
Like for me, I picked Kenny Galladay because last year I know their connection with Stafford is pretty solid.
Word.
The only unfortunate part was that he was injured the entire season. But their connection, last year he got me a good solid 15, 20 points with at least one touchdown, or no touchdowns, but just a bunch of yards, bunch of receptions. So you always got to factor in who is their quarterback at the end of the day.
That's a
go
fact.
to that. Last year, he had a touchdown a game almost.
Yeah.
He was dog.
It's but there goes to show you, like, depending on who's the quarterback, what's gonna be more of a run offense team. So like if you go with the Jaguars, they really didn't have a quarterback, and they went with James Robinson, and Robinson was cooking most of
And
the
they
season.
barely had wide receivers on top of that too to make it worse.
Exactly, because most of them were injured throughout the season. So like it's a hit or miss,
Word.
you know.
Let me ask this before we dip because we got like 2 minutes left. Who's one player you guys are looking at and saying he's gonna get drafted too high, and they got to be careful with that? Because I have one off the top of my head, but I don't know if you guys want me to start while you guys think real quick.
Started.
You
I'll
can
just say
start. Bro.
Calvin Ridley. people are going to look at Calvin Ridley. I think he's going to go a little too high because people aren't going to take into account Julio Jones being hurt.
Yeah.
So I think he might go like high second round, mid second round. And there's going to be some people that drop, and people are going to be like, crap, I took Calvin Ridley. And Julio Jones is finally deciding to be healthy.
I have one too.
What's good, Eddie?
I'm gonna say Claypool.
Word. You think that connection don't last?
No, I think it lasts, but I think he's also a player that you can get later on in the draft.
Word.
Because I got him off of waivers in the middle of the season, so that
Yeah.
just goes to show you. You could pick up. I mean, he's been pretty solid though, not for nothing.
Word.
He's had like a couple performances where he'll have under 10, but
Hey,
other than that,
9 points
he's
is
been
9
pretty
points.
solid. Yeah, exactly.
E, you got one? Because we got like less than a minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say Chris Carson.
Word.
He's always hurt every season. I'm sorry to say, he's hurt
Yeah.
every single season. He barely plays over 6 games, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then Kenny?
For me, it's probably Kenny Galladay from my own experience for this year. It's a hit or miss for him sometimes with some weeks, depending on his injury. So Kenny Galladay is the one for me.
Word. Well, Kenny.
I think Deshaun Watson too.
Yeah, you definitely got to take care of that. Kenny, good luck against me. Hopefully, this will be a great
Thank you
matchup. And
very
Eddie,
much, sir. I start tomorrow with my points, so let's see.
and Eddie, good luck with Luke, bro.
Yes, sir. Good
Yeah,
luck,
man.
both.
Thanks, bro.
And we'll be back
You
here
too.
next week and talk our shit, all right?
Hopefully, I'll still
Later,
be
fellas.
alive in the finals.
All right, guys. Peace.
All right, yo. Be safe, guys.
Word.